What is up, you guys? It is Monday evening when I'm filming this. We're here for our weekly anchor message where we hone in on the spiritual lessons that we will be sort of working with and faced with for the week. Last night on Sundays, I do the weekly energy oracle forecast. That was a particularly good video. Maybe go take a look at it. But I gave a lot of the takeaways from Rosh Hashana, from the consciousness lectures from the Kabbalah Center, and basically gave us a rundown of like what's just happened through Rosh Hashana and what's coming up over the next week or two. So our reading today just follows straight in like something in my throat just said straight into basically our basically it's a pep talk. It's like, all right, let's review the plays. Let's make sure we're all on the same page here going into this week post Rosh Hashana leading up to Yom Kippur. So just for a quick recap, between Rosh Hashana and Yom Kippur, these high holidays are called the 10 days of repentance. And so basically what happens is, and this is Cliff Notes, we've been talking about this for weeks and weeks now, but Cliff Notes. So the new moon of Virgo occurs. The next day is the first day of Rosh Hashana, day 1 of the 10 days of repentance. That first day is the head. It's the seed level of the whole year. It's where the consciousness, the divine inspiration starts coming in. So that first day begins basically Judgment Day. And the first 18 hours of Rosh Hashana, which is a 48-hour period, beginning at sundown. This year it started on Shabbat, on Friday. So there was a detail that I meant to tell you guys. I think it was last night in the video. I was like, there's something I'm forgetting. I can't remember what it was, what I was going to say. And I remembered it later. I remembered it maybe even the next day. So basically, when Rosh Hashanah falls on Shabbat, there is an extra element of protection and light over that particular Rosh Hashanah. There's a particular intensity and preciousness about it. This particular Rosh Hashanah, the first day of Rosh Hashanah started on Shabbat. So the timing was, of biblical proportions, quite literally. So the Shabbat started and that began Rosh Hashanah. They were synced up perfectly. Historically, on years when this has happened, when Rosh Hashanah has fallen and began on Shabbat or fallen during Shabbat, that year turns out to be particularly miraculous and prosperous or particularly challenging. So the thing is, usually every year is a mixed bag of both. And one of the takeaways from Rosh Hashanah was to be able to have a year where we experience the Creator face to face, not our face to the back of the Creator, or God forbid, our back is to the back of the Creator. When you have your back to the Creator and the Creator has the back to you, it's like consciousness-wise, you can't see God in anything. Nothing in your life makes sense. It's like pure chaos, pure torture. You can't find the answers. You don't know how to fix anything. You can't get out. You feel like there's no way out of your situation, and there's no lessons, and there's no light from it, and you can't find the good, and you can't create change, like positive change out of the turmoil. It's just you're in complete darkness. The second level is when you are facing God, but God has his back to you. And that related to this one verse where God told Moses, he told Moses, "You will know me by my hind parts." And I always thought that was kind of sassy, like salty of God to be like, you're gonna know me by my ass walking away from you. But it's like the thing about that consciousness is that you don't realize God was in that moment until God has just walked away. God has just passed. We just missed him. You don't see you don't see the presence of God until you reflect in hindsight. Oh, yeah, that was really difficult. But after that, I was able to this or this, or I was able, like, I grew this from that, seeing the creator's back is like you're not present in the moment, in the midst of the storm, to see the awe and have that like moment of like, whoa, like this is intense, it's crazy, this is mysterious, but I see that there is divine work and orchestration going on here. In the most fearful, strenuous, crazy, crisis-ridden situations, it's like those are the times where you're like, okay, I can call on God in this situation. God can be activated within us, within this. This can change. This can turn around. With faith, with certainty, with belief, with just naive belief that it's possible, miracles can happen, right? So yeah, being that person that can only see God when God's walking away, it's like you're still suffering in that moment, but later you can reflect and be grateful for the lesson or grateful for the experience, or you can see how, miracles and mysteries were at play. But when you can see God face to face in that moment, it's like, you can even be in a situation that is riddled with uncertainty, on the precipice of destruction, having no idea what's going on. And someone who knows the creator by the creator's face, someone that can see the creator's face, is looking for it in every moment. They know it's there. They know it's there in everywhere they look. They know that the creator can work through them. They know that the creator can turn the situation around. They understand that if the creator is bringing them, or if they're in a moment of stress or pain or chaos, it at the very least, it can be working off that negativity. Like balancing those scales out for you. So it's like you can find the way to find the light in any situation when you can see God, the face of God, right? And to be that present is a gift, because you can be tranquil even in the midst of the storm. So back to the timeline of what's the 10 days of repentance. So basically, Rosh Hashana, the head of the year, the beginning, the planting of the seed level of consciousness, started the day after the new moon. Remember, like when we manifest the new moon, we start manifesting just after the new moon, in alignment with that, okay? So during this waxing period, it's like we have set the intention, we're planting the seed level for the new soul, for the new self, for the new year ahead. And over the waxing period, we are continuing to manifest, but we don't manifest until Yom Kippur. And so what's happening during the rest of these days in between is, so the seed level happens, and then the 10 dimensions that we see on the tree of life that I show you guys every now and then chart. So those are the 10 dimensions of consciousness that we are being basically exposed to. Think of them as the hues of a rainbow, different colors, different frequencies of God's personality and the archetypes that make up the human soul and the human personality. So the first part of the weekend, the first 18 hours of Rosh Hashana are the harshest. This is when the harshest parts of the judgment are coming in, and they're burning away the negativity, and it's basically like the ego death, so that it can make space for the new soul to enter. So from sundown Friday, it was probably super intense. Sundown Saturday, probably was like the culmination. And then after that, the intensity probably started to dissipate. And during the earliest hours of Sunday morning and throughout Sunday, that's when the light of mercy started to come in. And that's when we started to ritual to welcoming in the soul. So basically we have been, like, the new soul has been put into our vessel, but the vessel is still open, right? And so this is like a newborn fledgling soul. And so the opponent is like, haha, it's easy to fuck this up. Haha, because it's an infant soul. There's, you're not used to being this embodied grand, higher self yet. So there's these days of testing. And so the first three energies of the supernal triad, the purest, like divine light, divine pure masculine force, divine pure feminine force, those were all coming in during Rosh Hashana. Now it is the lower levels of the consciousness dimensions that we have more that take a more psychological form rather than as abstract. So on Monday, we're being tested with the energy of the next dimension. That was today. We're being tested with Hesed. This is mercy. So you may have been challenged to be merciful today. If you gave a lot of mercy today, if you acted in sharing, if you were able to avoid being harsh or judgmental, then you have passed like the initiation for today. And so for the rest of the Mondays of the year, depending on how kind of well you showed up today in your consciousness, that will affect like the kind of like tone your Mondays will take. And you'll have to work around that, or you'll have pretty good Mondays for the rest of the year. So tomorrow, Tuesday, we will be challenged with the energy of judgment. This is the Sphirot, or the dimension known as Gevura. This is represented by like the noble warrior, right? And in the good expression of this is the soldier that defends the kingdom. This is the person that stands up for what's right. This is being able to make a decisive decision and cut through the bullshit, or cut out what's not working and make a decisive, clean cut with no hesitation. No like, oh, I changed my mind. Like this is like a killer instinct for the good, right? But in a bad way, it's like, it's judgmental, it's harsh, it's severe, it's tyrannical. It might be domineering or bullying or bossy. It might cause division. It might be angry. It might be aggressive. So try not to be judgmental tomorrow, but also try to resist the urge to be tyrannical or harsh or, too exacting or, too calculating tomorrow. And then it builds from there. We will touch base. I'm trying to do a TikTok video every day to talk about the daily energies. Somebody asked me today, where are my shorts? And I'm like, I just haven't had time this week. I've had lots of family stuff. I've had lots of social life things. I've had the high holidays. I've had to work, and then I've been trying to keep up with content too. So basically the priority is YouTube. If I can do a TikTok, I do a TikTok. It's a separate thing. It's not what we talk about here. So TikTok is different. They're usually 3 or 4 minutes. And then I take a minute of that content and use it for a short on YouTube, because YouTube, the extent of the shorts is 1 minute. So I try to get the meat of the first part of the reading and then share it to YouTube. So if anybody is like, oh, I like your shorts, but you haven't been posting them, you can actually go find the real videos on TikTok. Follow me there, Liz_Taylor_magic. Okay, so back to this program, back to our scheduled programming. So basically for the next, so Yom Kippur is Sunday night at sundown, and that's when we fast until Monday night at sundown. So every day of the week leading up to Yom Kippur, it's like we're being tested by another one of these dimensions, and we're gonna be able to draw on that power and that strength, but we're also going to be tested and initiated with it too. So try not to blow a gasket this week. Try to just do whatever you can to stay in an elevated, high state of consciousness. We're trying to, like, what we want, the goal is that we are embodying the higher self little by little, step by step, this new soul is it's setting, right? It's like almost like concrete. The new mold is like setting. And basically on Yom Kippur, we do our fast, and that seals the vessel. So that seals in all the light, and we get to keep it. Now, the opponent, the feminine Satan and the masculine Satan, are like hovering around us all week because they want us to blow a gasket, break the vessel, all the light spills out everywhere, and then they get to take it and put it on their scale for the other side. And we're not going to let that happen. So we're not going to blow a gasket. We're going to, observe ourselves. We're going to be resilient. We're going to bounce back. We're not going to fall into despair. Like if we trip up, we're going to be like, no big deal, just bouncing back. No big deal. Because you can get your points back if you can bounce back and be like, okay, I'm going to make it right, or I'm going to do better. But if you get despondent and you like start hating yourself for it, like that's when you lose your points because the feminine Satan has come in and won. So we're in the gauntlet, people. This is the initiation of the new self. Once we get through Yom Kippur, the days following that are called Sukkot. And Sukkot is when you basically have kind of like the same run through of tests with the same like dimensions again of consciousness. However, this time it's like we've planted the seed for the new self. Yom Kippur, we seal the deal for our destiny for the year, for the manifestation. And then Sukkot is like, if we can stay elevated through that week, that's like the gasoline, the juice that powers and fuels the manifestation. So if we can stay happy, joyful, singing, dancing through the week following Yom Kippur, all the way up till Sukkot, then we are going to have an amazing year. Like it will be a turbocharged blessing year. So yeah, if you can overcome some big things, if you can heal some big wounds, if you can put it into some patterns, if you can, kick bad habits, whatever you can do right now, it counts so much more than any other time that you make good habits and changes during the year. It's almost like, just save it for now. No, don't. It's always going to change. But like, seriously, like right now, it's like, it's exponentially helpful to you. Okay. So our message with the archetypes is the warrior, the lover, the threshold, and Thanatos. So before we get into the clarifying tarot, this is like, we're in spiritual warfare this week still. We're battling the darkness within us, around us, in and out, right? We're battling the ego because what we want is we want the kind of ego death that like it's ashes to ashes, dust to dust, sweeping it and tossing it out of the house. Like we want nothing to remain of our old, limiting perspective and consciousness. It's the consciousness that we're really shifting. Sometimes that leads to, changes in the literal life, in our mundane life or in our relationships or whatnot. But it has to start. Like it doesn't necessarily mean that. Like maybe you have the same job after this, but you have a whole new take on it. Maybe you are able to like understand your wife or husband better because like of this change in perspective, right? So don't think you have to throw the baby out the bathwater, but like big major changes within us are going to make big changes on the outside. So we're doing this spiritual warfare. We have opposing forces that, would like to foil us and take this blessing energy, right? So we're holding on to it. And in the meantime, in the midst of this, we have to put all that fire and fury into the discipline, the process, because this week will probably be triggered. We'll be tested. Like we will be like we'll want to blow up. We'll want to go off, or like maybe random people will just be trying to pick fights with us. And you're just like, what is going on? on? What is going on? So when this warrior energy comes up, it's like, careful not to be combative, because that energy is surrounding as well. But try to put this energy into fighting your own ego, fighting your own limited perspective, fighting your own former consciousness to push through to the other side. The Lover came up next to this. And so, in a way, this is like the divine masculine and feminine merging within us. It's like being able to be divinely inspired and then put that into action, embody that in the outer expression. It's like the inner married with the outer. When we have divine inspiration, this is the vertical column. But when we share that inspiration and we embody that change, that's the horizontal column. That's when divinity is expressed in the world and it is shared and it affects. It's like the love gets spread out, the light gets spread. So the channel comes down here, but this is how we share it, right? Is the out. That's why the cross is this intersection. So in a way, this is like the divine masculine and feminine coming together. But also in a process sense, the Lover is present. This is what we're talking about being face to face with the Creator. You want to have such a pure desire for connection with the Creator, such a desire for affinity of form, right? That, like, when I thought about it, like this like image came to me when I was thinking about face to face with the Creator. It's like, I want to be the person, like, I would hate to be the person who sees the Creator's back, because basically what happens is, it's like the Creator has come into your home as a guest and you don't really realize it, and you're out back doing something. And while there's a bunch of commotion going on in the house, and you're outside taking care of some business, and it's like suddenly you're like, oh, I didn't recognize that person at first, but that's the Creator. Oh my God. And it's like you run back inside. You're like, wait, the Creator's here. Oh my God, I didn't realize. And and everybody else in the house is like, well, you just missed them. The Creator just left. It's like, I don't want to be the person who realizes, I wish I would have realized in that moment. The awe, the magnitude, the power, like being channeled through any given moment. You know what I mean? It's like I want to be there in it. I want to see it. I want to know it. I want to experience that. I want to be present with the Creator. The only way to really experience the presence of Creator is when you're in the present. It's the only thing that's real. That's the only thing. That's the only, like, now that there's only now. Now is eternal. It's true. It's real. The future hasn't happened. It hasn't been created. And the past is gone. There's remnants of it. There's effects of it. But the moment itself is fleeting. And so, yes, there's something about now being the only real truth, where you can experience truth, where you can experience unconditional love, right? The presence of the Creator is unconditional love. It's eternal. It's eternal love. It's unwavering, unfluctuating, unchanging. It's just continuous. So the Lover is present. The Lover is engaged. The Lover is devoted. The Lover is seeking to please. The Lover is receiving the fulfillment, from the connection, from the intimacy. And so to me, the Lover in this reading on, the wake of Rosh Hashana, and like in the week that we're in now, it's all about embracing whatever is happening to you, whatever life is offering to you in this moment. Realize that even if it's a test, the Creator is next to you. And you can ask the Creator for help and guidance through the test. And if it's an opportunity, it's like the Creator is in that. And if it is a pure miracle and blessing, the Creator is in that. But whatever the moment is offering you, it's something that your soul needs to elevate, to awaken. And so the more that we can lean in and embrace that moment and meet it with curiosity and openness, and look for the ways that we can transform through it, share, become a greater vessel of sharing the light, become a greater vessel for channeling the light. We look for those opportunities in those moments, which is absolutely necessary because this is a huge pivotal turning point. The threshold is a moment where we go through a door, we go through a portal, we jump timelines, and things are never the same. It's like, it's an initiation into a new chapter, a new life. And that is what we've been talking about on this channel for about like 2 years now. It was like 2022 was all about clearing the grounds so that we can build, like, set new foundations to build a new life on, and getting rid of all of the old that wasn't resonant anymore with us. And so 2023 has been all about the birth of the new self and the start, like the jumping of a timeline onto a whole nother experience of life, a whole nother story. It's like the series has come to a conclusion, but it's been renewed, but it's different showrunner. So it's the same actors, but they're like the script that you're writing for the new show. It doesn't have to go by the old canon. In like television writing, in a series, they have like the canon, which is the Bible of like these characters and like the story, and they have like certain factual historical things that they have to, keep straight, and these are certain character, defects of this character, and they have to be consistent, and this is how they interact with this character, and this is what their relationship always is, so we have to stick with that. That's the canon, right? Old canon doesn't apply to the new series. We're here, but it's a new show, with new characters and new plots and new goals, right? Familiar, but different. So yes, the whole year we've been like, when is this new start happening? When is this new start? And it's just been like we've been like slowly but surely, piece by piece, being reborn and resurrected this year, and like just coming online. And throughout the latter half of the summer, it's almost been like we've been turning on like system by system, building upon building. And it's like now we're like all systems go. We're ready to launch. And then coming up to Rosh Hashana, I was like, oh, of course, this is the moment where we get the new self. And so now over the next couple of weeks, it's like we're being tested through, the 10 days of repentance. So basically we've stood in the court, we pleaded our case to the judge. Now everything has been we have rested our case. The attorneys have spoken, we've spoken to the jury, we've done all we can, and now we've taken a recess. And the court they're deliberating in that room that they all hang out in, right? And so we're just kind of waiting. And so the days that this week, like, this counts. This is on the record. This could be like the big reprieve, right? This could change our sentence. So basically, we get the ruling, get the good news back on Yom Kippur. Yay, it's gonna be a great year. This is your spiritual credit for the year, basically. And then on Sukkot, it's like, you know what? Bonus round. Like, we're gonna give you a bonus. You've really put in the work this year, or you've really changed your consciousness recently, or you've been able to stay elevated and you've made it through these tests. So you've got all your You've got your new soul, and you've got your backpack with all your spiritual spending in it, ready for the year, ready for your blessings. Now you're equipped with, like, I don't know, your little, you've got your little moped for the year and your spiritual gasoline. You got it all in Sukkot. And so you're ready for this new adventure to, like, peel out and, like, go for it. And then we're ready to go, right? Let's launch us into our new life. The new timeline is starting right in time for eclipse season. Eee, we're already back to eclipse season. Yay. So yes, the eclipse season is when we kind of officially walk through the portal and we say goodbye to the old life. There is just not any way that we can maintain the old limited self, the old things that are holding us back. The old life cannot merge with the new life. The old self cannot merge with the new self. It's too big of a gap. They do not have affinity of form. So we have to be willing to mourn these parts of us, these parts of our personality, these parts of our point of view, these parts of our day-to-day life that aren't going to come with us. And so that's difficult. We have to mourn that. And so you may have surges of tender emotions coming up this week because which leads me to death, right? In order to cross this threshold and really have a new experience, we have to let the ego die. We have to let the old die away in order to really be resurrected and reborn and be born again anew and go forward into this new year with a new experience. It's like the old has to die. And the Rav was talking about, during the shofar blasts. The shofar blasts are supposed to confuse the opponent to the point where he can't mess with you anymore, or can't throw you off your game while the light's coming in, because he thinks that it's the final day of judgment and he's about to be completely obliterated, where there's going to be zero pain and suffering anymore, and there's literally no use for the Satan. And so, because there's no more process needed, we've all been completely redeemed, and the Messiah energy has come back, and we have been, resurrected. And so the Satan is so confused during that moment because he thinks it's his final end. And so that is the attitude, that's the vigor that we have to go through this year, was to just really obliterate, leave nothing, for no gaps for that opponent to get in and mess with you anymore. It's like, what if you were just like, you know what? I'm so tired of being insecure about this stuff. Like, what if I was just like, fuck it, it's not gonna bother me anymore. And you're like, you know what? This stuff's coming up in my face to make me feel insecure. But do I want to feel like shit? No, I don't. Does it do me any good? No, it doesn't. Does it make me any more confident, or grow my self-worth, or attract good things to come around me? No, it doesn't. So it's like, we're going to be able to start seeing in a way that's it just makes it easy to offload the shells, offload the layers that are just dead, scrub off that dead skin. It's peel it away. Think of it as those acidic foot things that you put your feet in, those rubber boots or whatever, and then your whole foot peels off. You have baby feet. I've never used them, but I've heard of them. It sounds grotesque. It's we're peeling off the old snake skins, the old, that's just we've outgrown. So allow the death to come. Now, the soul, you may feel surges of emotion. Don't suppress those. That is not to I know we're thinking oh, we have to stay in a perfect state of mind and we can't have any emotions. It's not that. It's not that nuanced, or it's more nuanced than that. It's you can have the emotions, but don't let your mindset around them throw you off. It's you can feel your feelings, but they're not going to completely, you're not going to get lost in that loop. For instance, To Be Magnetic had a good example of a video that I saw today. They were talking about If you're ghosted, like it means like your manifestations is close and the universe is both expanding you and testing you at the same time. So the expansion is to see like, oh, this type of person is possible. But the test is that you can accept that they maybe weren't fully aligned in the moment, and you can feel sad that it's not going to work out, but it's not going to like take you out. It's not going to affect how you see yourself. It's not going to affect your self-worth. You're going to bounce back after you feel what you feel, and you're going to let it pass. So the same is true here. It's like there are parts of us that we're mourning, that are going away. There are parts of us that maybe are feeling the different stages of grief, which might be denial, bargaining, like anger, sadness. We can let those emotions come up and pass without getting caught up in the loops of like drama and like the narratives that go with it that get us in a downward spiral, right? So death coming up, we want to welcome that death, right? We're wanting it to remove completely all that is no longer us, so that we can completely rise up anew. And 6 of Wands came up underneath Warrior, which is like, I had a bunch of like cards in my own personal weekly reading about victory. And so I feel like we're really set up for success. We're set up to be victorious. We are practicing like keeping and maintaining this awareness, which is better than we've ever done in previous years. And all of these rules have been applying to us every year. We just didn't know. It's like gravity, right? It's like when we start learning about the law of attraction, we're like, oh, it's going on whether I'm using it or not. So you might as well, like, the bus is driving itself. Somebody get in the driver's seat, right? So victorious. We are going to get through this victoriously and get to the other side of it and overcome those parts of ourselves. The King of Wands, this is the feminine king. And so we had a feminine king last week, I think. And this is, so in this particular tarot deck, there on the face cards, there's the queen, the king, and then there's a feminine king. Same with the emperor card. There's the empress and the emperor, but then there's a feminine emperor. And so the difference is like the page is the least mature of the personality of that suit subject. Then the knight is a bit more mature, and they're able to, it's like the page is in the learning stage. The knight is in the taking action stage. They're a bit more mature. They know kind of how to like put that wisdom into use. The queen has embodied that wisdom on a next level, and she harnesses the divine feminine qualities of the aspect of that suit. The king has all the mastery of the page, the knight, and the queen. The queen had the knight and the page within her. So the king has all of those within him, but he also has the specific aspects of the divine masculine manifestations of the aspects of that suit. The feminine king, to me, says that there is some aspect within your consciousness that is able to merge the divine masculine and the divine feminine qualities and have, at least in moments of clarity, fully mastered or more maturely mastered and balanced self-mastery in this area. And it may not be constant or all the time. It may just be, like I said, brief moments of clarity, or you have your moment, but like this is a next level of understanding. This is like the higher self is coming through. The wands are all about passion and desire. And without a desire, like we need a simple desire to have affinity with the light of the Creator and to be near the light of the Creator this year and to connect with the light of the Creator. It's the desire that fuels the process. It's our desire that fuels any one of our manifestations. And so the feminine king of wands is like full of desire, full of passion, full of fire, full of vigor, full of fierceness. The queen, the feminine king, has been able to create such strength and such charismatic or charisma around their convictions that they are a light in dark places. there's like these tall plants that have grown up in this, the king's garden around her. And it's almost like enclosing her. It's very tight. It's very dense. And she has this torch, this light that is lighting up all of this shadowy darkness. And so it's like we are learning how to be a light in dark places. We are learning how to be light workers, alchemists who can turn darkness into light, who can turn lead into gold, who can take any situation and find a blessing in it or juice it to get a blessing because they are face to face with the Creator. And then we got under the threshold. So the Lovers was crowned with the King of Wands. And so that's about embracing the process, embracing the moment, and like reconnecting with the why and the inner passion and the inner desire for the light. The Two of Cups is under the threshold. And so in a way, this is like the new self coming online. We're having this emotional renewal, and it's starting to spill out from the self, from just the one Ace of Cups. It's like, oh, I feel renewed. Now my cup runneth over, and it's starting to attract like things that have affinity into your life. So now that we've gotten all of this like grime and grit and old self out of the way, we're going to be vibrating in a new frequency. And now we're finally going to be able to call in and attract things that have affinity with our higher self. So we're going to start attracting in deeper friendships, deeper or different levels of romantic opportunities, different types of suitors that we're not used to. Maybe even that have more, they'll have more affinity. They'll be more resonant because we're being even more clear and honed in and nuanced about who we are. We're becoming more authentically sort of like pure essential essence of ourselves. So we're going to be attracting in things that match and resonate with that. And better friendships, better creative partnerships, better work relationships, better romantic relationships. We're going to deepen the relationships we have. There's going to be a lot of healing happening there, and a tightening of bond. And honestly, this message, it's got the Lovers, it's got Two of Cups. All the changes that we're making, the things that we're releasing, the new parts of ourselves that are coming online and lighting up and, getting us passionate again and, fired up. We could be calling in a partnership or meeting a new suitor or new suitors coming in a flurry. So this could have an effect on your love life. Like a surge in your love life could come up. So be prepared, right? Get clear about what it is that you want, what it is that you're calling in. But right now we're just like in this liminal space where we are kind of crossing into this threshold. So yeah, whatever is coming your way, just go slow. And remember that this is a pretty crazy time of year. We're being tested on all levels and tempted on all levels. And then we're going right into eclipse season. But also, I don't know, it feels like destiny is at work and new things can be coming in. Energy is moving in and out, right? And so a lot of the messages and themes have been things clearing out, almost urgently so. Because things are always, the universe loves a void. So whatever's clearing out and making space, it's because something is pushing up that wants to come in. Something wants to up level. So yes, your relationships could heal. They could deepen. They could be no more. There could be new ones coming in. So, this is just going to be, you're going to have to discern this for you, in your situation. But yeah, I think big changes, this is a big pep talk. I think good things are coming. It's just like, we're doing spiritual warfare this week. stay on your game. Stay optimistic. Like, take it lightly, have fun. Like, don't be heavy about it, because victory is kind of like in the forecast. And the lighter that we are, the more elevated that we are. The lighter we feel, the less worried that we feel. It's like it's demonstrating more trust in the Creator. It's demonstrating surrender. It's demonstrating certainty that it's not all in your hands, right? That we're not, idolizing ourselves or putting limits on the Creator. It's like we're not putting an engraven image on the Creator or a limit to what the Creator can do or is capable of. Anything is possible in the year ahead. It's not like we're getting a better year or a better version of us. This is timeline jump. This is new self. Who dis? All right. So y'all, good luck for tomorrow. Remember, don't be domineering. Try not to be judgmental. Don't be tyrannical. Don't be afraid to make decisive choices. Not to second guess or hesitate. Clean cuts. Killer instinct, but for the good. Upholding honor, but not being destroyer consciousness. If you want to err on, if you're when in doubt this week, err on the side of creating unity and spreading the light and spreading love. Err on that side. Okay. Y'all be good, but not too good. Ciao.